Hello guys and girls, I'm Thomas Finn Jameson. On my channel you'll find reviews, film analysis, music, comedy and more. Today is going to be a list video, and it's going to be an end of decade list. It's going to be chronicling my 10 greatest films of the decade. So I'm going to keep it loose and relaxed, refer to my notes and what have you. And so without further ado, let's kick it off. So the 10th greatest film of the decade, in my opinion. Number 10, London Boulevard, from 2010, directed by William Monahan. One of the great gangster films, in my opinion. Colin Farrell plays a character who gets ensnared in the criminal underworld when he's trying to stay clear of that activity. He also falls in love with a reclusive movie star played by Keira Knightley. It features great performances all round, really. Particularly Farrell, Ray Winston, brilliant in this movie. David Thewlis, possibly the standout as Jordan, absolutely fantastic, some great scenes. The movie is really awesome. Stephen Graham, very funny. You ever heard of the Beatles? John Lennon was my uncle. It's a line of his in the movie, very funny. And Eddie Marsan as the policeman, very funny also. I love the soundtrack. Particularly the Yardbirds, Heart Full of Soul, what a great guitar lick that has, what a way to start a movie. You know, William Monahan said that he was on a quest to make a movie featuring Heart Full of Soul, and he did it with this, and used it a couple of times in the film to great effect. Kasabian, Le Fever / The Green Fairy, also brilliant tune, well used. It also featured an early version of Stevie by Kasabian. Sergio Pizzerno from Kasabian did the soundtrack for the whole movie. Clubfoot was also used, which is a banger of a tune. It's hilarious, poignant and unmistakably British. So there you go. Number 9, Creep, 2014, directed by Patrick Brice. One of my favourite horror comedies. Patrick Brice is one of my favourite directors. If you know, you know. Cool use of handheld camera throughout the movie, very effectively. I love Brice's approach, attitude, and what he's about as a filmmaker. Patrick Brice and Mark Duplass, who's the main character in the movie, are both hilarious and deliver fine performances. The movie keeps you guessing. The suspense, comedy, horror, and it's refined and well-crafted cinema. Okay, so number 8. Dark Shadows, from 2012, directed by Tim Burton. One of Tim Burton's best, another great horror comedy. Johnny Depp plays Barnabas Collins, who comes back from the dead to find his true love at Collinwood Manor in 1972. So I'll be doing elevator pitches, as you can see, for these movies throughout, maybe. Also stars Michelle Pfeiffer, Helena Bonham Carter, Johnny Lee Miller, and Christopher Lee! Yep. Cool soundtrack for the movie. New Seekers, The Killers, and The Moody Blues. Some really cool tunes on there. The movie is very well made. It was a passion project for Depp and Burton, who had it in development for a long time. My favourite line, as Johnny Depp opens the TV to see a woman dancing, he opens up the box of the television and yells, "Reveal yourself, tiny songstress!" Definitely the standout line of the movie. Number 7. Corporate Animals, from 2019, directed by Patrick Brice. Corporate Animals is also my favourite film as of this recording of 2019. Absolutely brilliant. Patrick Brice's second entry on the list. So, the elevator pitch. A corporate team go on a team building exercise which takes them caving. They get stuck in the cave. And the movie follows what happens there. So, Demi Moore and Ed Helms, really funny in the movie. Young cast, Karan Soni and Jessica Williams are all on top form. It's the first time I ever heard the term casual cannibalism used for a movie. That is in the trailer and what have you referenced, so that's not a spoiler. Standout scenes, I love the hallucination scene featuring the B-52s song. It's hilarious. I love that movie. Before I'd even finished watching Corporate Animals, I paused it at one point and there's about 20 minutes left. I was like, I'm already looking forward to seeing this again. There are Citizen Kane references, if you know, you know. Brilliant ending to the movie as well, really cool final scene. Great soundtrack, which you usually get from a Patrick Bryce movie. I Got Some by Sugar Billy Garner, really cool. And as I mentioned, B-52's Fantastic Voyage to Mr. Sprinkles, excellent song. Number 6, The Social Network, 2010, directed by David Fincher. As you may know, I've done a film analysis video on this. You can find that on my channel. So the movie is about the creation of Facebook. Everyone involved in making the movie killed it, including Fincher. So you can feel free to go and watch my film analysis video on The Social Network on my channel. And the film, as I'll reiterate here, I think was very much the blueprint for modern filmmaking. Number 5, The Wolf of Wall Street, from 2013, directed by Martin Scorsese. So it's about Leo DiCaprio as Jordan Belfort, rising through the ranks on Wall Street as a stockbroker. Great performance from McConaughey, who almost steals the movie, as he plays a veiny, coke-addled Wall Street tycoon. And who doesn't love that? Several stellar performances from the cast. Yep, definitely. So many great scenes and a brilliant soundtrack. Dust My Broom, the opening track used in the movie, excellent. The film also features, as of 2019, the greatest song of all time, my favourite song of all time, Foo Fighters' Everlong. I have more to say on this film in a future film analysis video, but for now, I'll leave it there. Number 4, fourth greatest film of the decade, The Raven, from 2012, directed by James McTeague. So it's about Edgar Allan Poe, portrayed by John Cusack. He becomes like a character in one of his stories, as a copycat serial killer is on the loose, looking for Poe himself. The killer's thinking, "Show me the Poe." So with this film, talk about dark. The film certainly is that. Yet at times it's hilarious, with Poe's witticisms contrasted with the stern high society. The film inspired me to read some of Poe's work, the selected works, which they're excellent. John Cusack, of his own accord, lost 25 pounds to play the role, and he described playing Poe as being like going on a bender. So there you are. And it's a career high performance for Cusack, no question. I love the use of Burn My Shadow by Uncle, very effective in the movie. If you know, you know. The film is triumphant, and one of my favourite films in TJ's film clubs, and one of my favourite films, period. So, number 3, the third greatest film of the decade, Hugo, from 2011, directed by Martin Scorsese, who appears on the list again. Story of Hugo Cabret, Asa Butterfield. His father gets killed and he's left this automaton which he has to look after. So I watched this with the family around Christmas 2018, and it was a lovely experience. It was part of my film clubs. It's a joyous tale of connection, family, and the love and discovery of movies, which I love as film means a great deal to me. Great performance from Ben Kingsley, cool supporting turns from the cast, Jude Law, etc. And the film, I would say Hugo, is a real gem. So, to number 2, the second greatest film of the decade, in my opinion. The Overnight, from 2015, directed by, once again, Patrick Bryce. It's about two couples, Adam Scott, Taylor Schilling. They meet Jason Schwartzman and Judith Godrich. Scott and Schilling are new to LA. They go to Schwartzman and Godrich's house, and the film chronicles how the night develops. It's one of my favourite films of all time, The Overnight. I've seen it 4 times as of this recording in 2019, and it's a flick I love to revisit. The suspense, comedy, it's a hangout film, and it keeps you guessing and thrilled throughout. Bryce, once again, excellent here with his direction and writing. The film also has one of the greatest soundtracks of all time, in my opinion. You know, every single song is just excellent, from Tryouts for the Human Race, Sparks, Take It Easy, Archie James, Cavanna, I love the movie. Every single song is tremendous on the soundtrack. And as of now, The Overnight is my favourite comedy of all time, as of 2019. So, we now come to me, the greatest film of the decade. And number one for me is Whiplash, from 2014, directed by Damien Chazelle. So, it's a story of an ambitious jazz drummer, played by Miles Teller, and his ruthless teacher, played by J.K. Simmons, on Oscar-winning form. I've done a pure cinema piece called One of the Greats, massively inspired by this movie. The line itself, one of the greats, is from Whiplash. You can find that on my channel. So Miles Teller is my favourite actor, and he kills it in the movie, doing some great drumming for real, and looking forward to seeing the rest of his career develop. JK is awesome and on foul-mouthed form as the OTT teacher. Chazelle laid down the gauntlet for other filmmakers, saying, "Here I am, a formidable force to be reckoned with, and a director we're going to be talking about for years to come," I would think. The show-stopping ending, one of the best endings, one of the best climaxes in film history. So, yeah, excellent. Hurwitz provided a great score, Justin Hurwitz, and it's the greatest film of the decade. Do I think it's the greatest film of the decade? I do! Do I think Whiplash is the greatest film of the decade? I do! Take it easy.